middle of the night. We have the details on what happened.
And multiple fires sparked up along train tracks in Kennewick over the weekend. We'll tell you the suspected cause and how long it took for firefighters to get these fires under control.
Panic at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. Former President Trump injured in an apparent assassination attempt over the weekend.
And the fire in Gillum County exploded over the weekend. Now it's in parts of Morrow County. I'll show you where evacuations are in place for that fire coming up right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Monday, July 15th.
Jill, you came back with shorter hair. I'm loving it. And you did that because it's so hot outside, right?
I did. Well, partially because of the heat, partially because I have a 6-month-old son who likes to tug on the long locks. So
my goodness.
Had to get rid of them. It was hurting my head too much.
Is he going to try to pull now?
He still does. He still tries.
Yeah. Well, it has been very hot, so we'll check in now on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Josh, in addition to the heat, you've been tracking some fire starts. What can you tell us this morning?
Yeah, we had a lot of luck over the past week because I was really concerned about a lot of fire starts. It didn't pan out that way, but we do have one big one now, so that's kind of the trade-off. It's just beneath this lower dirt here. It's the Lone Rock fire. It started in Gillum County. It's now technically spread into Morrow County. We'll take a closer look at it. And you see all these little fire icons. This is where satellite is remote sensing a lot of hot spots around the fire's perimeter. This thing's now upwards of 30,000 acres, only 1% contained, so this is definitely still in its infancy stage. And there are level 1 evacuations in place for southwestern Morrow County from Hardman down to the South Morrow County line, and there are level 3 evacuations in place for portions of Gillum County. We do have moderate air quality right now for southern Morrow and Umatilla County, in fact, all of Umatilla County, and we're expecting more tough air quality a little bit later today. Right now, temperatures are in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Just kind of depends on your microclimate. 70s for portions of the lower Columbia Basin. A little bit later today, we'll be up around 100 degrees. Again, within the Tri-Cities in the lower Columbia Basin, and this means more tough news for fire impacts. I'll show you some of the data to back that up coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. And we begin with new information from overnight. A house fire prompts the evacuation of multiple homes in Kennewick.
The fire prompted a large emergency response to the 6800 block of West 20th Avenue just after 12:30 this morning. According to fire crews on scene, 5 homes east of the house on fire were evacuated as a precaution. KPD tells us around 2 a.m., all who were evacuated were allowed to return home. Officer Zachary Kane, PIO of Kennewick PD, says when he arrived on scene, he saw flames coming from the attic. He also says the first report of the fire came in about a tree being on fire. KPD says the house is a complete loss. At this time, they don't know what started the fire. KPD says they, along with the battalion chief, will investigate the cause. Officer Kane says the fire was deemed not suspicious around 2:30, so officers began clearing out after the fire was fully put out. In a crime alert now, one person is hurt in what the Kennewick Police Department is calling a targeted attack. This happened Saturday morning in the area of West 5th Avenue and Rainier Street. Several calls for help came before 12:30 a.m. KPD officers found several shell casings in the intersection. They found a person injured, but their current condition is not known. KPD is asking anyone that has information to call non-emergency dispatch at 509-628-0333. And we turn now to the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Shots rang out at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, panicking the crowd and injuring Trump. The shooting killed a spectator and seriously injured 2 others. The suspected gunman has been identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks. The Secret Service says he fired multiple rounds from an elevated position outside the rally. He was shot and killed by the Secret Service. President Joe Biden has spoken out against the violence, calling on Americans to lower the temperature in the country's politics.
It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that. Yes, we have deeply felt strong disagreements. The stakes in this election are enormously high. I've said it many times that the choice in this election we make in this election is going to shape the future of America and the world for decades to come. I believe that with all my soul.
Former President Trump arrived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin yesterday for the Republican National Convention, and we'll have more on the security measures being taken there coming up at 6:30 this morning.
Back to fire news now. A passing train is believed to have caused multiple fires along the tracks in Kennewick Saturday.
The Kennewick Fire Department was first dispatched to the area of Canal Drive and Fisher Street shortly after 3 p.m. It was reportedly threatening homes in the area. As crews were working to put that fire out, they learned there were several other fires around the same area. The Kennewick Police Department, Benton County Fire District 1, and representatives from the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad also responded to the incidents.
Fire officials say all of the fires were under control within 34 minutes and nobody was injured. During their response, the train that was believed to have ignited the fires was stopped to prevent any more fires from starting.
An RV caught fire and damaged 2 homes in Kennewick Friday night.
The Kennewick Fire Department was called to the 8300 block of West Yellowstone Avenue just after 11 p.m. When they got to the scene, they found an RV on fire in the backyard of the home. Fire officials say the owner of the RV told them they had been working on repairs and there was a gas leak in the engine compartment. At some point, the RV caught fire.
The owner tried to put it out, but it spread too quickly. Firefighters were able to get the fire under control in less than 15 minutes. However, the exteriors of 2 nearby homes were damaged. A nearby shed also caught fire and was destroyed. No one was hurt.
The DNR and the Bureau of Land Management have declared burn bans on their land. Kittitas County is doing the same. As of Saturday morning, all open burning in the county is banned.
Although you will still be allowed to have fires in designated campgrounds inside fire rings, and you can still use grills and propane or gas stoves.
In a health alert now, the Grant County Health District is issuing a health warning after people have reported becoming severely ill by eating Diamond Shrooms products.
The brand sells chocolate bars, cones, and gummies that have a blend of what is labeled as proprietary blend of mushrooms. Companies use that term when they don't want to disclose the mix of mushrooms it is using. The Grant County Health District says some of the products were being sold in the county even after the products were recalled by the CDC and the FDA last month.
As of July 8th, 1 person has died and 30 people have been hospitalized. Nearly 60 people have become sick in 27 states. The director of the Tri-Cities Airport in Pasco has been appointed to the state's commercial aviation work group. Buck Taft was appointed by Washington Governor Jay Inslee. The group was created by the legislature last year and just recently held its first meeting last Thursday in Tumwater. Now, the group isn't complete just yet, with several open positions. Part of the discussion Thursday involved recruitment from various regions.
For either the Eastern Washington slots, we should reach out to someone from Yakima because, and it's possible there's someone here from Yakima because at the end of the last commission's process, Yakima Airport had spoken up and said we want to be involved, but your charter says the answer has to be in Western Washington. We are broader, and so it seems like for one of those 2 spots, bringing Yakima on board makes sense.
The goal of the group is to evaluate long-range commercial aviation and transportation needs in Washington. Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, people taking certain medications could be more at risk in this extreme heat. In your health headlines this morning, we take a look at the symptoms of heat exhaustion, which can mirror the side effects of certain medications. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, West Richland, Hermiston, Road 68 in Pasco, and at the new location on West Court Street in Pasco. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at all 6 locations. Get the lowest prices on the largest selection of vape mods, classic to tropical vape flavors, batteries, cigars, tobacco products, kratom, and specialty products too. Don't waste time in other places. Go to Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
I'm in Australia!
When the guys get roasted on the barbie,
you look like the budget Pete Davidson.
Can love still get blooming?
Hey, let me talk to you for a second.
I'm here for someone who is willing to put me in front of the drama.
If you think Dee Dee likes being cooped up all day,
then you'd be wrong. Because Dee Dee knows if you live anywhere near here or there, you're within winning distance of right here, Legends Casino Hotel. Yep, that's how Dee Dee likes to roll. Get out of the house, go have some fun, and play to win. Legends Casino Hotel, because you're within winning distance, and fun is how we roll.
Get 2.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,000 purchase allowance on most 2024 Cadillac models when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
I help women with health issues, things like birth control, prenatal care, any GYN issue, and I really enjoy that. I love being a midwife. We try to personalize the care for each patient and individualize it. It's not one size fits all. Everybody has their own individual care plan.
Les Schwab Tires is proud to support Apple Valley News Now's Restaurant Showdown.
To vote, scan this QR code or click contests at applevalleyNewsNow.com. Plus, you could win a $25 gift card from STCU. From STCU, Les Schwab Tires and Whitman Hill Winery.
This newscast sponsored by Mariano Morales Law.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. A health alert this morning. The heat wave could have an extra impact on people taking certain types of medications. Part of the problem is that some of the signs of heat exhaustion, like dizziness, headache, nausea, and confusion, can also be confused with side effects of medication. Experts say you also need to be really cautious if you're taking medication that impacts how much you sweat.
So if you're on medications that maybe increase the amount of fluids that you're getting rid of, maybe decrease the amount of sweating that your body naturally produces, I definitely recommend making sure that you're consuming adequate amounts of water to stay hydrated and not relying on your body's ability to tell you that you're thirsty.
When you're out in the heat, especially if you're doing something active, you need to start hydrating before you head out, as well as during and after the activity. And if you have medication that you carry with you, like insulin or an EpiPen, you'll want to make sure it stays cool. Up next on Good Morning Northwest, NASA is celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the James Webb Telescope, and it's released a new photo to mark the occasion. We have an explanation of what you're looking at coming up in just a few minutes. But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Culbreth has your first alert full forecast. We'll be right back.
Bathfitter does showers? That's right. We offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers in all shapes and sizes. We can even convert your bath into a shower. How about that? With our seamless one-piece walls and hundreds of design options, you'll get a beautiful new shower to fit your needs, guaranteed for life. Bathfitter's been around for 40 years, and we've been experts at showers for just as long. Get yours today. Bathfitter, it just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
STCU is happy to support the Apple Valley News Now's Restaurant Showdown.
To vote, scan this QR code or click contests at applevalleyNewsNow.com. Plus, you could win a $25 gift card from STCU. From STCU, Les Schwab Tires and Whitman Hill Winery.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider. So switch to Spectrum and get a powerful network that connects nearly 500 million devices.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with free modem, no data caps, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee when you level up to a gig. Call 1-855-735-1336 or scan to call.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming with the most reliable internet speeds. Get a powerful network that millions of customers rely on. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month with 99.9% network reliability, no added taxes or hidden fees, and no contracts. Plus, save with our 2-year price guarantee. Call 1-855-735-1336.
Call now.
Chill or grill on a new deck from Par this season. Get a free Makita Bluetooth radio or portable pellet grill with a qualifying Par deck package purchase of wood, TimberTech, or Trex. Visit par.com for details. Par, go where the builders go.
What are you going to build?
Take a flight over the beautiful Pend d'Oreille and Priest Rivers.
The Priest River is always calm, especially in the mornings. People that are more experienced can go out on the Pend d'Oreille River.
Fly the Northwest.
You can row for miles and miles.
Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
Next live, Anna Faris from My Spy, The Eternal City, plus Kylie Cantrell from Disney's Descendants, The Rise of Red, and live Summer Survival Week begins.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
Smoke City for Less. We are open 7 days a week with now 5 locations.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is a First Alert Extreme Impact Fire Day for the whole viewing area, as it's going to be hot, and of course our fuels will continue to be pretty dry. So to speak to that, here's today's fire fuel energy in terms of historical percentiles, up into the 98th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties, up into the 97th percentile for the Lower Columbia Basin, and then up into the 98th percentile for the Blue Mountains. Very dry stuff out there, so please exercise extreme fire safety. In addition to that, I mean, it's just going to be hot outside, plain hot, as we'll be in the 90s for Kittitas and Yakima, the Kittitas and Yakima valleys, right around 100 for the Lower Columbia Basin, just shy of 100 for the foothills of the Blues. We will have some pretty breezy conditions today. Winds gusting between 20 to 35 miles per hour, gusting out of the west and northwest for the Kittitas and Yakima valleys, but out of the west and southwest for the Lower Columbia Basin, also for the foothills of the Blue Mountains. Now, for tonight, the winds will calm down for the most part, except they could still gust upwards of maybe 30 miles per hour for the Kittitas Valley. But elsewhere, calmer winds. Overnight lows should be in the 50s and 60s, and we will have some haze. And by the way, I want to talk about today again just real quick, because downwind of this lone rock fire that's burning technically in Gillum County, but now coming into portions of Morrow County, a lot of tough air quality in southern Morrow County. Could see some hazy conditions for portions of Umatilla and Walla Walla counties as well. Now for tonight, it looks like that's mostly going to be confined to Morrow and Umatilla counties, and again, the worst of the worst air quality is going to be immediately downstream of that fire in southwestern Morrow County. Our temperatures are going to rebound into Tuesday closer to 105 as opposed to 100, and we're just going to continue to ping pong between 100 and 105 in the Tri-Cities over the next 7 days, which means that our fuels will continue to be pretty dry, which is why we're going with another slate of First Alert Extreme Impact Fire Days for Tuesday and Wednesday for the entire viewing area, with extreme emphasis on Wednesday because of some of the lightning in the forecast. And when you think about lightning over fuels this dry, it kind of makes your stomach turn a little bit. So we'll be in the 99th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties in terms of fire fuel energy, up into the 97th percentile for the Lower Columbia Basin, up into the 99th percentile for the Blue Mountains. So our fire fuels are going to be maxed out in terms of the energy they'll have to offer if they get the chance. Don't let them get the chance. But Mother Nature might have something to say about that with some of the lightning in the forecast for Wednesday. We'll keep close tabs on that lightning potential for Sunday as well. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Cascades. In our area, the Cascades will actually be the most favorable location for thunderstorms on Wednesday. And then for the Kittitas Valley, triple digits for Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. For the Yakima Valley, we'll have a small thunderstorm chance on Wednesday. And then for the Lower Columbia Basin, it's going to be the same thing. And we'll have maybe another 7 days of highs ending up in the triple digits. For the foothills of the Blues, tough air quality in southern Morrow and Umatilla counties, especially in southwestern Morrow County. And then for the Blue Mountains, dry fuels with a couple different chances for lightning over the next 7 days.
Thank you, Josh. And while we've been dealing with extreme temperatures across Washington and Oregon, so has Nevada. Also, Las Vegas just broke another heat record. For 7 days straight, the city has experienced temperatures at or above 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And according to the National Weather Service, Vegas saw its hottest temperature ever on July 7th at 120 degrees. More than 100 cities from Maine to California have experienced their hottest summers on record this year. At least 37 people have died just in the month of July from the excessive heat. Turning to some space news now, NASA is celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the James Webb Telescope with the release of a vivid new photo. Now, this image shows a pair of intertwined galaxies, which NASA calls the penguin and the egg. If you look towards the top of the image, it looks like the beak of a penguin and the eye, and this is known jointly as ARP-142. The galaxies first passed each other tens of millions of years ago, causing the new star formation you see within the penguin. NASA says the galaxies are about the same mass, which is why one has not consumed the other. The $10 billion James Webb Space Telescope first started taking pictures in July of 2022. It's the most sophisticated infrared space telescope ever constructed. When we come back on Good Morning Northwest, a tearful Lionel Messi at the Copa America final. We have what went down at the sold-out game in Miami last night. Keep it here. We will be right back.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of Ford vehicles, like the Built Wild Bronco family, with a deal you just can't miss. So make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
You get hurt in a car wreck, and all of a sudden, you feel like there's a black cloud hanging over your life. You're in pain, and the insurance company doesn't want to pay. Call me, Attorney Mariano Morales. I have the power of more. Don't take that first offer when I can get you more, much more than they want to pay. And why go to court if you don't have to? And when they find out the heavy hitters on your side, well, you know, blue skies. Injured? Call me, Attorney Mariano Morales, because helping you is what I do.
Call 853-2222. I love the great outdoors. From indoors, it's a vibe. Do I enjoy being in nature? Do I like looking at it? For sure. So if maintaining forests maintains my happy place, yeah, I'm gonna be a papertarian. Living room, sanctuary. Bathroom, sanctuary. Other living room? Well, that's just extra. In America, we have private forests. So when you choose this, the forest people will replenish that. So those outdoor creatures can stay where they belong.
These two men both won a second term as your president. And starting tonight, Donald Trump and the Republicans make their case. David Muir and the ABC News Powerhouse political team, live from the Republican National Convention. All this week on ABC.
The savings continue with stock reduction savings in Bi-Mart's latest savings book. Save $5 on Panasonic 12 packs of AA or AAA batteries, now just $5.99. Save $3 on Cutter or Repel 2 packs of insect repellent. Get a Bi-Mart brand Marine RV 12-month battery for just $79.99. Plus save big on 28-ounce bottles of Gatorade. Save now with store-wide savings of up to 50% off during our summer stock reduction sale, only at Bi-Mart.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. Amazing offers and a great selection of Ford vehicles, like the Built Wild Bronco family, with a deal you just can't miss. So make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We've got some sports news for you. Argentina won its third straight major title over Colombia in Miami on Sunday in the Copa America final.
A tearful Lionel Messi, Argentina's captain, said goodbye to international soccer in what is likely to be his last game at a major international tournament. Messi was substituted in the second half after an apparent ankle injury. The soccer legend was visibly emotional as he watched the game unfold from the bench while nursing his swollen right ankle.
But the tears turned to cheers at the final whistle when Messi embraced his teammates and coaches before lifting the trophy as fans serenaded the champions. It was a chaotic night in Florida where kickoff at the sold-out 65,300 capacity Hard Rock Stadium was delayed for more than an hour after thousands of fans without tickets tried to forcibly enter the stadium.
Video shows some fans climbing the stadium walls in an attempt to gain entry. It's unclear if any fans or security personnel were injured.
So it kind of started sad, but it ended kind of happy for Messi.
Yeah, definitely. It would have been really heartbreaking to go out with an injury, for sure.
Well, we have more sad entertainment news.
Yeah, so Shannon Doherty, star of Beverly Hills 90210, has died.
The actress's longtime publicist confirmed to People magazine that Doherty died Saturday, surrounded by loved ones after a years-long battle with cancer. Doherty rose to fame as Brenda Walsh on the original Beverly Hills 90210 show.
She was also known for her role on the series Charmed. Doherty was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015.
In 2017, she revealed her cancer had returned after going into remission. She was 53 years old.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, the Athena Caledonian Games took place over the weekend, celebrating Scottish heritage. We have a behind-the-scenes look.
Plus, President Biden calling on Americans to lower the temperature in our politics. This after the assassination attempt on former President Trump. Details coming up in just a few minutes.
Something is weird. Look around. All possible Triple Play customers are perfectly represented right now.
Wait, really?
There's the family, the group of adult friends, kids on their school trip,
and the first date couple, and the grandparents with their grandkids.
It's just too perfect. I knew it. They're shooting a commercial.
I thought we were better than that.
Triple Play has fun attractions for everyone, including go-karts, mini golf, and many more, all attached to a cozy hotel.
We just thought
if it's hidden, you might get bitten.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Medically Speaking.
Here at the clinic, we stay up to date on the latest research and we offer cutting-edge therapies. We treat a number of different conditions, specifically Parkinson's disease, stroke recovery, traumatic brain injury, fibromyalgia, diabetes. We also treat folks dealing with cognitive decline due to aging.
We all have dreams and ideas about how life is going to be, and then life happens, and it's not necessarily what we pictured. So how do we deal with that? I've lived with multiple sclerosis for years. It's realizing that it's all one system. How do you reset your goals so that you can live a happy, healthy life even with chronic illness? And I can attest, yes, you can. My life is incredibly happy.
We first start by improving oxygen utilization in the cells because healthy cells are well oxygenated. We then work towards improving areas of the brain that are inefficient, and for this we use a number of different modalities. We offer oxygen contrast therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, transcranial photobiomodulation, and our latest addition, brain high-intensity interval training.
We also build a schedule for the patient that makes it easy to adapt their game plan to their lives and the therapies they do inside the clinic. To get started, call 509-783-5465 and schedule an appointment with a client advocate today.
Let Quantum Legal protect you and be your champion on the legal battleground. Whether it's a fight for justice in the face of criminal accusations, personal injury claims, or workplace accidents, Quantum Legal is your unwavering ally. An aggressive offense is your greatest defense. Quantum Legal is the sword and shield you've been seeking. Your best defense, Quantum Legal.
Tiffany Smiley is not who she says she is.
Tiffany Smiley started a PAC claiming to raise money to support conservative candidates, but contributions were funneled to pay off her own $1 million campaign debt.
Of the almost $800,000 she raised, only $24,800 went to candidates. Instead, Tiffany used the money on luxury travel and to try to pay off her massive debt.
Tiffany Smiley deceived her donors. Don't let her deceive you.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message.
Rowing on North Idaho rivers. Apple Valley News Now, Tuesday at 6.
Right now on Good Morning Northwest, President Biden calling on Americans to lower the temperature in politics. This after the assassination attempt on former President Trump. We have the story.
Richland is temporarily closing the Claybell Park pickleball courts, when this starts and when they're expected to open back up.
And the Athena Caledonian Games took place over the weekend, celebrating Scottish heritage. We have a behind-the-scenes look.
And later today is going to be another hot day, no surprise there. And I'll show you what that could do to fire weather impacts coming up right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Monday, July 15th.
Jill, did you have a good weekend?
I did. It was nice. I got up to a little bit more than I would have liked to. I'm really tired.
Yeah, we're in that time right now where you want to avoid being outside when it's super duper hot, which is kind of what I was doing this weekend. So we'll check in now with our chief meteorologist, Josh Colbert, to see if we're going to get any relief from this heat anytime soon.
No, I'm not sure if we're in the dog days of summer yet, but we're pretty close. Thankfully, the air quality hasn't been too bad, but who knows, maybe that's subject to change as well. 50s and 60s right now for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. We're in the 60s and 70s for the lower Columbia Basin. Also 60s and 70s for the foothills of the Blue Mountains. A little bit later today, it will feel like the dog days as we'll be up around 100 degrees in the lower Columbia Basin. Pretty close to that for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. And notice this, it will be a little bit hazy today for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, especially in southern Morrow County, specifically southwestern Morrow County, given the proximity to that lone rock fire which blew up over the weekend. All right, today, unfortunately, we're going to have to track the potential for more fire starts as it will be so hot and so dry out there. So in order to mitigate some of those risks, be sure to not toss burning cigarettes on the ground. Don't park hot vehicles on dry vegetation, and I would suggest gathering your fire evacuation kit now, especially in southwestern Morrow County, given the growing nature of the lone rock fire. And I'll show you some more fire weather impacts in a different vein with some lightning in the mix. That'll be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. President Biden is calling on Americans to lower the temperature in our politics. Biden addressing the nation last night after the assassination attempt on former President Trump.
The FBI continues to search for a motive as we're learning new information about the suspected shooter. It's happening as a Republican National Convention starts today as scheduled. ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington, D.C. with more.
Today, day one of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. The Trump campaign planning to highlight the former president's plan for the economy as the week has taken a dark turn.
I want to speak to you tonight about the need for us to lower the temperature in our politics.
President Biden addressing the nation last night.
You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Security a top concern at the RNC.
We are confident in the security plans that are in place for this event, and we're ready to go. It's been an 18-month process.
Trump arriving in Wisconsin yesterday, pumping his fist in the air. In a new interview with the New York Post, Trump says, "I want to try to unite our country, but I don't know if that's possible. People are very divided." Investigators say the man suspected of trying to assassinate Trump is Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old who worked at a nursing home. Crooks' high school classmates say he was rejected by the rifle team for being such a bad shot, it was considered dangerous.
He was just bullied, he was bullied so much.
Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says Corey Comparator was killed at the rally, his family posting tributes online. Shapiro says the retired firefighter died protecting his family.
He wouldn't want to be thought of as a hero, but that's definitely how he should be remembered.
The FBI says Crooks was not on their radar. No motive has been found just yet, and investigators are looking at his cell phone to see if he was consuming any misinformation.
Meta says it is lifting restrictions placed on former President Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts.
The announcement came Friday, just days ahead of the kickoff of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. The social media company says it's making the change to ensure Trump and President Biden are on equal footing ahead of the November election. Trump's accounts were originally suspended following the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol and were reinstated last year.
Meta announced at the time it was placing additional guardrails on the accounts that would have resulted in them being suspended again if he broke the rules. But the company says those penalties have not had to be deployed. The Athena Caledonian Games took place this weekend, celebrating Scottish heritage. There was a lot happening in Athena, Oregon with those games.
It started with a parade and car show and then transformed into a festival. At noon, the Scottish throwing games started. There were vendors with items for sale, along with booths to learn more about Scottish heritage, nice music like you just heard, performers playing that music, dancing, and more. And there were also sheepdog performances.
The Athena Caledonian Games have been going on for 125 years in the small eastern Oregon town. One part that drew in a lot of interest was the Scottish Games, where people were trying to see who the strongest man or woman in Athena was. The organizers say while it's a lot of fun, the games need more volunteers. Otherwise, the event is going to be at risk for future years.
You can find out on AppleValleyNewsNow.com how to get involved to keep this 125-year tradition alive.
The city of Richland is temporarily closing the Claybell Park pickleball courts located at 425 Broadmoor Street. The closure starts today for resurfacing work. The city says this will enhance the quality of life and safety of the courts for all users.
As long as the weather cooperates, the courts should be back open within 2 weeks. Apple Valley News Now presents the 2024 Restaurant Showdown, and we need your help to find out who the best restaurants are in our area.
A group of local influencers picked 64 different eateries and set up initial brackets divided into 4 regions: Yakima, Tri-Cities, Walla Walla, with the 4th representing other areas, including Hermiston and Ellensburg. Round 1 started Friday and continues through 8 p.m. tomorrow.
And to vote using your mobile phone, scan the QR code on your screen right now and follow the instructions, or on your desktop or laptop, click on Contest at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and select Restaurant Showdown. After voting, you can enter to win a $25 gift card from STCU. 24 cards in total will be given away, so you can enter every time you vote for a total of 6 chances to win a card.
And for more information, check it out at AppleValleyNewsNow.com.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a tradition that takes place every 2 years in the USACE Walla Walla District.
The district hosted a change of command ceremony on Friday. When we come back, Riley Fitzgerald introduces us to the outgoing command and who they're tossing the baton to.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps.
Indulge in Legends Casino's seafood buffet experience. Discover a feast of premium crab legs, succulent shrimp, and an array of delectable ocean-inspired dishes. Elevate your evenings with Legends Seafood Buffet every Thursday and Saturday starting at 4 p.m.
From Apple Valley News Now, this is Medically Speaking.
My name is Lauren Martin. I started to work out at Hanford in 1982, and for 20 years I worked with the fleet. Repairing cranes, locomotives, cars, ambulances, fire trucks, everything. After 20 years, then I came down with a disease. There are some very, very expensive drugs, and my copay on that is 0. All I have to do is pick up the phone, and it's there.
So we'll definitely evaluate their past employment. As a registered nurse myself, I'll look through their medical records and I'll look to see maybe what medical conditions they have, and we'll be very upfront with them, honest about whether they do have a claim that could warrant benefits or not, and just kind of let them know what those next steps are, the timeline of how long it could take for them to get approved.
The savings continue with stock reduction savings in Bi-Mart's latest savings book, including $50 off an Avanti 5 cubic foot chest freezer. Bi-Mart, your employee-owned membership store.
Join us Saturday, July 20th in historic downtown Prosser for the 20th annual Prosser Art Walk and Wine Gala. Sip award-winning wines and craft beer while strolling creations from artisans throughout the Pacific Northwest. Enjoy live music and a variety of food trucks for an evening not to be missed. Tickets are just $20 and on sale now at tourbrowser.com/artwalk.
Attention all Hanford and PNNL workers and contractors. Join United Energy Workers Healthcare for a free lunch and learn resource fair on Friday, July 19th at the Three Rivers Convention Center in Kennewick from 11 to 2 p.m. You may qualify for additional healthcare benefits and financial compensation. Learn more at our free lunch and learn resource fair on Friday, July 19th at the Three Rivers Convention Center in Kennewick from 11 to 2 p.m.
Take a flight over the beautiful Pend Oreille and Priest Rivers.
The Priest River is always calm, especially in the mornings. People that are more experienced can go out on the Pend Oreille River.
Fly the Northwest.
You can row for miles and miles.
Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
Next live, Anna Faris from My Spy, The Eternal City, plus Kylie Cantrell from Disney's Descendants, The Rise of Red, and live Summer Survival Week begins.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In Walla Walla, it was a farewell and a welcoming for the USACE Walla Walla District. On Friday, the district hosted a change of command ceremony, which is a tradition in the U.S. military.
Apple Valley News Now's Riley Fitzgerald introduces us to the outgoing and incoming command. Take a look.
Lieutenant Colonel Shalyn Kingslack relinquished command of the Walla Walla District of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to Lieutenant Colonel Katie Werbeck.
Colonel Hall will in turn pass the colors to the new district commander, Lieutenant Colonel Werbeck, charging her with the same responsibility and authority.
So the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, I think, is a superpower for our civil works with just the commander and the deputy really as uniformed members. The rest of our team are civilians who are just technical experts, and having the commander and the deputy change every 2 years makes us look really hard at ourselves very often.
Commanders of the USACE districts get just a 2-year stay.
To learn the district of 900 people and try to make change in 2 years, it's going to be pretty hard. It's going to be a fast drive.
Thank you to the best district in the Corps.
I just wanted to make sure that she really got as prepared as possible so that when she takes command, she's not starting from scratch. So I wanted to make sure all the different programs and projects that we have in the district, that we give her that like 30,000-foot view first and get her kind of situated into the district. That way when today, as soon as she takes command, she's able to kind of just dig into a project, dig into any details she needs to dig into.
While much has happened in the 2 years since Lieutenant Colonel Kingslack has been in command, she says there's more on the way.
And we look towards the future. McNary Spillway has a lot of concerns with our life and safety of my employees there, and so there's much needed repair and rehabilitation needed on our cranes and our hoists to ensure that we continue operating those spillways safely. And so we've made a lot of headway on that I'm proud to say, in the last 2 years, and that's just going to continue moving forward. McNary modernization is also going on. It's just millions and millions and millions of dollars of improvements in McNary Dam.
Werbeck says her big four are teamwork, trust, accountability, and adaptability.
Do my best to make the district just a little bit better, taking care of our people, sending everybody home safely, and doing our part of the mission for the American public. Keeping the lights on, the grain moving, the fish swimming, and the people safe. Building strong, Essayons, be all that you can be.
Reporting in Walla Walla, I'm Riley Fitzgerald for Apple Valley News Now.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, it was another hot weekend, which makes us wonder if there's any relief from the heat in sight.
When we come back, Chief Meteorologist Josh Culberth will let us know in your first alert full forecast. We'll be right back.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
Audiologist Jennifer Wright is now caring for patients of all ages at Prosser Ear, Nose, and Throat Center. Her services include audiological evaluations, hearing aid fittings, pediatric testing, cochlear implants, and more. The effects of hearing loss can often be minimized with the correct diagnoses and proper treatment. To schedule an appointment with audiologist Jennifer Wright, call Prosser Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 509-786-5599 today. This is how we care.
I have worked with Senator Curtis King for the past 2 years, and I know how much he cares about the constituents in his district. He is well respected by both parties. He is results-oriented, and he works very hard for the district.
We got to elect Curtis King. He has a proven record. We're very lucky to have him as a representative in the Senate.
There is no better candidate for the job than Senator Curtis King.
I'm Senator Curtis King, and I'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
Join us for Hobby Vibes only at this year's Moxie Hop Festival. Let's celebrate our hop growing community filled with tradition, celebration, community, family, food, vendors, and fun. There's over 15 acts on our family stage and 5 incredible bands in the best 21+ beer garden. Meet up with old friends and connect with new at this year's Moxie Hop Festival, August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
These are real people seeking solutions to real problems.
I have plantar fasciitis.
Pain with my feet, my knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports.
I definitely feel the heel-to-toe walk.
I'm not feeling any pain, especially in my heel. That's where I always feel it.
I don't feel the knee pain. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
You know the saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Well, it doesn't have to be an apple. Wellness looks different for everyone. It looks like this. And this. And whatever this is. It's really that simple. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, where do I sign up for this? All that matters is you're taking a step towards a healthier you, inside and out. Find your apple.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222. Vote now in the Apple Valley News Now Restaurant Showdown.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It's feeling pretty good out there for this morning. 60s for the Kittitas Valley, a little bit cooler in the Yakima Valley with a mixture of 50s and 60s. 60s and 70s for the Lower Columbia Basin and 60s and 70s for the foothills of the Blues. A little bit later today, no surprise here. It's going to be another hot one out there. We'll be about 5 to 10 degrees above average, which means 90s for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys, near 100 for the Tri-Cities, and then just shy of 100 degrees for the foothills of the Blues. Could be a little breezy today, winds gusting between 20 to 35 miles per hour coming out of the north and west for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys, but out of the west and southwest for the Lower Columbia Basin and for the foothills of the Blues. And some of that south flow coming out of the southwest, that could bring some of the haze and some of the smoke from the Lone Rock fire that's burning in Gillum County, now transitioning into Morrow County. But some of that smoke could impact portions of Walla Walla, Umatilla, and Morrow counties today, with the worst of the worst air quality being in southwestern Morrow County. We're also concerned about more fires starting for today, as fire fuel energy could be up into the 98th percentile compared to historical values. So very dry stuff for Kittitas and Yakima counties, very dry stuff for the Lower Columbia Basin, given that we'll be in the 97th percentile and then up into the 98th percentile for the Blue Mountains. So just another powder keg of an environment. And then for tonight, the winds will calm down, at least in this section of the map, but they could still gust upwards of maybe 30 miles per hour for the Kittitas Valley. We'll see more haze impacts for Morrow County and Umatilla County, but again, the worst of the worst air quality is going to be immediately downwind of the fire in southwestern Morrow County. Okay, into tomorrow, temperatures should rebound a little bit closer to 105 as opposed to 100, and we'll continue to just bounce back and forth between 100 and 105 within the Tri-City. So we were talking earlier in the show about what is a heat wave. I don't know, I think subjectively this is a heat wave right here. Okay, into the next couple of days, fire impacts are still going to be extreme for the whole viewing area, and we're putting some emphasis especially on Wednesday, as that's when we're going to have a lightning chance over some very dry fuels. You see Wednesday's fire fuel energy compared to historical values up into the 99th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties, up into the 97th percentile for the lower Columbia Basin, up into the 99th percentile for the Blue Mountains. So we are very concerned about fire starts for Wednesday, and we'll also keep a very close eye on that lightning potential for Sunday. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Cascades. In our area, the Cascades will actually be the most favorable locations for thunderstorms on Wednesday. And then for the Kittitas Valley, we'll have triple digits for Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. For the Yakima Valley, we'll have a small thunderstorm chance on Wednesday. And for the lower Columbia Basin, we'll have that same chance and also maybe another 7 days of triple-digit heat. Then for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, we'll have tough air quality in southern Morrow and Umatilla counties, especially in southwestern Morrow County. And then for the Blue Mountains, we'll have dry fuels with a couple different chances for lightning over the next 7 days.
Thank you, Josh. In a consumer alert now, AT&T says hackers got away with nearly all of its customers' data, this during a security breach that lasted for several months in 2022.
AT&T says information from more than 100 million customer accounts was downloaded to a third-party platform, but they don't believe that the data is publicly available. The company says the hacker downloaded information about what numbers called and texted each other and how often.
But personal information was not downloaded, like social security numbers or even customer names. AT&T says they'll notify customers impacted by the breach.
Bloomberg and Wired are reporting AT&T paid a hacker a ransom of about $370,000 to delete the data from that massive data breach.
Inflation fatigue is hitting the snack foods market, prompting retailers to lower prices. Frito-Lay parent company PepsiCo says it's weighing cost-cutting for a number of its brands. This after seeing revenues dip in its second quarter amid price increases.
Frito-Lay owns Cheetos, Lay's, Doritos, and Smart Food. The average price for a bag of potato chips has gone up 30% in the past 4 years, from just over $5 to $6.50. Not only have companies been raising prices, but in some cases they're also cutting the size of the product to save on costs. That's a trend known as shrinkflation.
And don't go anywhere. We will be right back with the morning sprint and a final check on your forecast.
First, a look at what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an emergency room doctor at that fateful Trump rally speaking out.
Today, I'm angry and I'm sad.
Springing into action after the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania.
I heard a woman screaming out, "He's been shot."
James Sweetland not taking a second thought before performing CPR on Corey Compertor, who later died from his injuries. And this morning, he's telling his story to GMA.
I heard this voice in my head saying, "Go, go, go." I had people helping me, and I could not have acted in the way I did to try to save his life without help from the crowd, from Americans that were there with me.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have full team coverage of the shooting live from Pennsylvania. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
The darkness of bipolar depression made me feel like I was losing interest in the things I love. Then I found a chance to let in the light.
Discover Capilita. Unlike some medicines that only treat bipolar 1, Capilita is proven to deliver significant symptom relief from both bipolar 1 and 2 depression. And in clinical trials, movement disorders and weight gain were not common.
Caplyta can cause serious side effects. Call your doctor about sudden mood changes, behaviors, or suicidal thoughts right away. Antidepressants may increase these risks in young adults. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Caplyta is not approved for dementia-related psychosis. Report fever, confusion, or stiff muscles which may be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements which may be permanent. Common side effects include sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, and dry mouth. These aren't all the side effects.
In the darkness of bipolar 1 and 2 depression, Caplyta can help you let in the light. Ask your doctor about Caplyta. Find savings and support at caplyta.com.
Did you do?
Now, the morning sprint.
Welcome back. Time right now is 6:52.
We're going to get to your first alert forecast in a moment, but we begin with a look at this morning's top stories.
Starting off, a house fire prompts the evacuation of multiple homes in Kennewick overnight.
This was at the 6800 block of 20th Avenue just after 12:30. According to KPD, 5 homes east of the house and a few on the west side were evacuated as a precaution. KPD says around 2 a.m., all who were evacuated were allowed to return home. They say the first report of the fire was about a tree being on fire. We're told the house is a complete loss. At this time, the cause of the fire is unknown. Around 2:30 a.m., the fire was deemed not suspicious, so officers began clearing out after the fire was fully put out.
One person is hurt in what the Kennewick Police Department is calling a targeted attack. This happened Saturday morning in the area of West 5th Avenue and Rainier Street. Several calls for help came before 12:30 a.m. KPD officers found several shell casings in the intersection, and they found a person injured, but their current condition is not known. KPD is asking anyone that has information to call non-emergency dispatch at 509-628-0333.
Now to the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Shots rang out at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on Saturday, panicking the crowd and injuring Trump. Now, the shooting also killed a spectator and seriously injured 2 others. The suspected gunman has been identified as Thomas Matthew Crooks. The Secret Service says he fired multiple rounds from an elevated position outside the rally. He was shot and killed by the Secret Service. President Joe Biden has spoken out against the violence, calling on Americans to lower the temperature in the country's politics.
A passing train is believed to have caused multiple fires along the tracks in Kennewick Saturday. The Kennewick Fire Department was first dispatched to the area of Canal Drive and Fisher Street shortly after 3 p.m. It was reportedly threatening homes in the area. As crews were working to put out that fire, they learned there were several other fires around the same area. Fire officials say all of the fires were under control within 34 minutes and nobody was injured. During their response, the train that was believed to have ignited the fires was stopped to prevent any more fires from starting.
And in more fire news, an RV caught fire and damaged 2 homes in Kennewick Friday night. The Kennewick Fire Department was called to the 8300 block of West Yellowstone Avenue. Fire officials say the owner of the RV told them they had been working on repairs and there was a gas leak in the engine compartment. At some point, the RV caught fire. The owner tried to put it out, but it spread too quickly. Firefighters were able to get the fire under control in less than 15 minutes. However, the exteriors of 2 nearby homes were damaged. A nearby shed also caught fire and was destroyed. No one was hurt.
The DNR and the Bureau of Land Management have declared burn bans on their land. Kittitas County is doing the same. As of Saturday morning, all open burning in the county is banned, although you will still be allowed to have fires in designated campgrounds, inside fire rings, and you can still use grills and propane or gas stoves.
The Grant County Health District is issuing a health warning after people have reported becoming severely ill by eating Diamond Shrooms products. The brand sells chocolate bars, cones, and gummies that have a blend of what is labeled as a proprietary blend of mushrooms. The Grant County Health District says some of the products were being sold in the county even after the products were recalled by the CDC and the FDA last month. As of July 8th, 1 person has died and 30 people have been hospitalized. Nearly 60 people have become sick in 27 states.
And we'll check in now with Josh for a final look at your first alert forecast this morning. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Jessica. Yeah, today's going to be another hot day. It's going to be another day where we're concerned about the potential of fire starts. We had a big fire start over the weekend, and it spread pretty quickly. Now up to 30,000 acres. This is the Lone Rock fire, 3 miles to the north of Lone Rock. You can see some of this starting to get into Morrow County now, and we actually do have a level 1 be ready evacuation for southwestern Morrow County from Hardman to the South Morrow County line. If we have more updates on that, we'll let you know at applevalleyNewsNow.com. We just like 5 minutes ago, I was checking this graphic and there was unhealthy air quality in Pendleton. It looks like maybe some of that has receded. So just moderate air quality for now, but just know that southern portions of Morrow County and most of Umatilla County will be dealing with some air quality impacts today from that fire that we were just talking about. Temperatures this morning, 50s, 60s, or 70s, just kind of depends on the microclimate that you reside in. A little bit later today, we're going to be up around 100 again in the Tri-Cities. So stay safe, of course, from fires, but also stay safe from the heat. And speaking of fire safety, we have more extreme impact fire weather for today. Also, we have more of that weather into the next 7 days, given that our high temperatures bouncing between 100 to 105, at least in the Tri-Cities, that's going to keep up.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you for waking up with us and watching Good Morning Northwest. GMA is next.
Your local news is back tonight at 5, and you can always find the latest updates on our website, applevalleyNewsNow.com.
Have a great Monday.